Hi everyone, Corey here from the Knitting All the Blankets podcast. It's been a few weeks and I honestly don't regret that. Last weekend was very busy, and by the time Monday came around, I don't have the energy to do a video, and I wouldn't have had much to show you. So maybe I'll try every other week. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so I hope everybody had a good 4th of July if you're here in America and you celebrate the founding of our country. Yay. To my returning viewers, thank you for coming back and I hope you enjoy this. If you're new, hi, welcome. And I usually just talk about what I've been working on for the past. It's normally been a week at a time, but it has been about 2 weeks since my last video, so yeah. You can find me on Ravelry as craftsbycori, all one word, and that'll be in the description box below. I also have a Ravelry group that I've set up on Ravelry that where I've posted show notes and everything, so you're welcome to go over there and join it. And that link will also be in the description below. So today I'm going to talk about, just what I've been working on. Last weekend, the 4th of July weekend, I had a long holiday. I had both Monday and Tuesday off. My job is very generous in that usually around the 4th we get some extra days off. The weekend, Saturday, July 1st, we had a big barbecue party at our house, and then Sunday we had another all-day event going on, not at our house, but we were still gone for most of the day. So by the time we got home on Sunday, I just didn't feel like recording. Then I had Monday off, and I just kind of chilled on the couch and knit, and you'll see the progress that came from that. Tuesday the 4th, my husband also had off, and we just kind of did stuff around the house and stuff we've been meaning to do and cleaning up from what was left of the party. So yeah. First thing I'm going to talk about, I got a lot of progress done on the mini Skein 10 stitch blanket. I don't know what it is about a long weekend, but that makes me want to work on a big project or a long-term project. So it's right over here. I finished all of the Lion brand bonbons. Let me make sure I'm holding this correctly. Yes. So, where I was last time is where this little progress keeper is. And I just continued around to the purple, did the corner, continued up the side. There's the last of the beach bonbons of the teal, all the way over. And this pink, where I've gotten to this corner, which is where I stopped, is the beginning of the rainbow rambouillet yarn from Twin Mommy Creations, and this is it caked up, and I've done a center pull. It is sitting in this lovely rosewood yarn bowl that my mother-in-law got me for Christmas. It's from A Darn Good Yarn. Several other podcasters have spoken about them. Personally, I love the product and I think it's a great company. I know there are some people that have had problems with it, but I'm not going to tell you. Go check them out at least and form your own opinion. So, yeah. So this is how big it is right now. And at last measurement, I'm going to consult my notes, which is when I tied in the rambouillet. It measured 14.5 inches long by 14 1/4 inches wide. And I'm keeping notes in a little notebook. And I kind of stopped keeping track of how many rows I was putting on for a while, because I didn't really knit on this thing the entirety of June. So my last count is that the week of February 21st. February. I'm looking at a 2 and thinking it's the month. May 21st to 27th, I put on 258 rows then. There were some more rows put on between that date and when I started really working on it again, but I'm not really sure how much. So on July 2nd, when I just picked it up and was knitting on it for fun, that day alone I put 116 rows on, which was incredible. Monday the 3rd, I did stop and go a lot throughout the day. Like, I'd start working on it. My hands and my wrists would start to hurt a little bit. I put it down, go do something else. And that day alone, I put 226 rows on it. And the 3rd is when I finished off the Lion Brand Bonbon yarn, the teal, and when I tied in the pink. And then on the 4th, I only did 40 rows because I think my hands were just... I put a lot of rows on in 2 days, so they were like, you know what, you need to take a break. So what I did in addition, instead of knitting, is I sat down and listed out, went through all my minis that I have and figured out, okay, what bonbons do I have? And I made that list, which is right here. Yes, I am going backwards in this notebook because the front of the notebook was used for another project. I got this idea. I'll go back through that idea in a second. And then what I did was on the next page, I did a knitting order. I tried to sketch out a knitting order of how I'm going to knit up the minis. And essentially what it looks like right now is I'm going to alternate an Indie Dyer's minis with a package of Lion Brand bonbons. And I think that's just what I'm going to do. What I'm also going to do from now on is, because I've caked up the Rainbow Rambouillet, is I think I'm going to, when I get to the next bonbon set, I'm going to, because they're cotton, I don't know how well they'll cake up. Like, I know they'll cone up fine because I cone up cotton yarn all the time, but I don't know how fingering weight cotton will cake up. So I may just ball that up in the order that I want it knitted, or reverse order, and knit from that, because I think that would be a lot easier and save me a lot of headache than just trying to keep track of the little bonbon as it's rolling around beside me on the couch. I think that'll be easier. And I'll do that for also all the other minis as well. When I cake them up, they'll be caked up in the order or reverse order that I'm going to knit them. That way they knit in the proper order. And that's what I'm just going to do. I have a friend, I do not have my own Swift, but I have a friend who has a Swift, and I can take my yarn winder over there and borrow her Swift and do this. So, oh, and some good news. It took me a little bit, but I finally got the Yarn Enabler minis. I'd shown these before, and they didn't really have a color label on it. They had that, which doesn't work because I went back through these, and I went to, it was a swap with swap that I did through the Yarn Hoarder podcast. And it was the Yarn Enabler swap with swap. And the colorway names on the package do not match when I go through Yarn Enabler's Etsy shop. They don't match up. So what I did is I spent some time. I took a picture, put them all in order, because I was hoping Lisa of Yarn Enabler could help me. Not Lisa. What's her name? I cannot remember her name. I was hoping the dyer could help me, but apparently the dyer is having some health issues right now. So I'd rather her get well than bug her about this. So I just spent a few hours looking at these and going through her Etsy shop and trying to match up colorway names. And I think I figured it out. Alright. This one is My Kind of Rainbow, which you'll see another one down here, so I'm bookmarking them. This one is Gorgeous, a nice fall colorway. This pale one is Marbles. This one is Faded Denim with 80s Scrunchy. This one is Milk and Cookies Sparkle, and to be perfectly honest, that is a complete guess because it has no sparkle in it. I don't see any stellina or tinsel or anything in it, but it was the closest one that matched up. This one is Cupcake, and on the label, it's labeled as Neapolitan. So I can see where they would have gotten that, but no. After Cupcake, this purple one is Hey Sexy. Then this one is Teal Sock Monkey. This purple one is Dark Matter. And then, like I said, I bookmarked it with a second mini skein that I had received of My Kind of Rainbow. So hopefully I've matched that up correctly. If not, oh well, it is what it is. So that's done. Those aren't going to be added into the blanket for a while, but it's done. So mini skein, yay! I'm happy I worked on it. My blanket projects, I know my podcast is called Knitting All the Blankets and everything, but it's only when I get to long weekends and actually long stretches of time off work that I really want to knit on those. Other than that, it's like I need something quick. I need the dishcloths. Speaking of. So, I do Christmas in July. I'm doing Christmas in July. So, which means I'm knitting Christmas colored yarn. Well, I'm almost done with the first cone. I need to cast on and do my half a dishcloth for today. But then I've got my whole other coned up cotton waiting. And let's see, today is the 9th. Yes, today is the 9th. And I'm doing about half a dishcloth a day. So far I've gotten 4 done. And that is accurate too. I did count. And I usually get about 11 or 12 dishcloths out of one of those big Bernat skeins, and this one coned up as it usually does. So I think by the 14th, I should have it all done. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Depends on how fast I knit, right? I recounted the number of finished dishcloths I have for my goal of knitting 100 dishcloths before the fall craft season, and I'm at 68. So if I get 12 out of this cone, which actually now I'm redoing the math in my head. So no, I should be done with this by the 24th. This cotton by the 24th. That'll give me at least 12 dishcloths, so I will be at 80 by the end of July. So that only leaves me 20 left to get done by October, and if I still average 12 dishcloths a month, I will meet and beat my goal by October 1st. So it should work, right? It really should. Yeah, let's see. Did mini skein, I'm looking at my notes. Did the 10 stitch, gave you an update on dishcloths, goal update. Did that. I haven't gotten any new minis. I've been really I've been trying to be good about buying minis because I know there are a lot of places that do sell minis, and I will just buy them all. Yeah, but with the tote bag that I have that's full of minis, I don't need to buy them all. I really don't. Hopefully they'll still be there when I want them. I do like this swap with swap thing going on in some of the podcast groups, and I have joined the actual group for it on Ravelry, and I cannot remember what it's called. But the person who hosts all the swapless swaps in most of the podcasts, she does these with her own group. So I'm keeping an eye out on that one to see if there are any that I want to participate in there as well. So that's all I have for you today. I will see you, I'm going to say another 2 weeks. I kind of like this. I felt like I had a little more to show you and a little more to talk about. So I'll see everybody in a few weeks. Bye.